An easy play. Fresh dress, living large, German whips in my garage. Most my partners called to charge for all this love break out with bars. Fresh dress, living large, German whips in
Here's
my
Messi.
garage.
Away from 2, 3, 4. Wonderful.
These chicks be flocking.
It doesn't work out. And I think that's one of the things that we specialize in here. You said you're a jack of all trades. I completely agree with that, man. I'm going to bring in Pete here for a second, and we're going to come back to Devin. But I wanted to introduce Mr. Peter Cole here, one of our coaches and content providers, and probably the most stressed out guy in the room because baseball just started. And Pete had a load on his plate, man. And so, like I said, the trooper that he is, he jumped in, took it. Pete, we do appreciate all your help there. And I know you have multiple team members that are contributing to that. But real quick, man, just give me a quick intro to you and a little bit of your backstory in DFS and sports.
What's up, guys? My name is Pete. I go by Pete C0525 on DK and FanDuel, Pete Cole on the site. I've been playing DFS pretty much from the beginning. I mean, at least 10 years. I mean, when FanDuel was in its infancy, Draft Street, if anybody remembers that. And I actually play DFS full time now. And what you hear a lot from people, it's people's dreams. Well, it's not what it's stacked up to be. There's a lot more stress involved than there is just playing games and trying to win money when you're trying to pay your bills off, winning double ups and so on. So I've had some success. Like I said, I've been to live finals. I've won probably 25 or more large scale GPPs. I was actually a sub of Devin's back in the day. I found Daily Fantasy Solutions probably 5, 6, maybe 7 years ago. And I was a sub and I just was really active. And next thing you know, I was working there, and it's been a hell of a ride. And I mean, I've had some great things happen to me. Like one of the main things, I won the GPP for the Mayweather Pacquiao fight, which was like 150,000 people. I won that, so spent a weekend with Mayweather and the fight. I mean, when FanDuel does like their live finals or these big contests, they do it right. And it was probably one of the highlights of my life. And it also really brought my wife into DFS because she actually could see some profits coming out. You know what I mean? They really took care of her. I mean, it was just a hell of a weekend. So it was a whole family thing. Yeah, brother. It was in between that, you know, it's great. It's a lot of, but I said it's a lot of stress and it's just a lot of work. I mean, I bet you I put in 14 hours a day or more on DFS, and but at the end of the day, it's well worth it. It's we had a good group of guys. Really excited what's happening here. I mean, we got some big things coming. Some real big things coming. Man. Up. So
absolutely,
and you know, guys be excited about.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing. I mean, me and you, obviously, we talk all the time. We text a lot. He likes to Mayweather name drop, in case y'all didn't know that, a lot. So you may hear that 100 more times during the show. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
actually, but no. But you know, Pete, he, you know, and Devin both. You know, a little bit of my backstory. I'm Adam1492 on DraftKings, and Eagle Adam to represent my Philadelphia Eagles on FanDuel. I don't play as much there, but and of course I'm an Astros fan. So you might hear some trash can banging, and that's just my cue to move along, guys. Okay, so if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. All right. But no, I met Pete obviously, you know, through other sites, just corresponding, doing content for other channels. Came over to Solutions, met Devin. And man, I was, you know, instantly, like I said, I could feel something, you know, being organic and growing. And I'm one of those people, business minded. I just like to, you know, just like a DFS profile, you start somewhere and you build from that. You know, we don't want any of our subscribers or anybody that's reading our content to just come away with it just thinking, I just need to pull the plays. Trust me, those are great. And there's nuggets in there. But like you said, it's about really pushing the, hey, we want this experience to teach us something. We want to go for being better players, so we can make our own lineups and make our money. And like you said, make things happen, man. There is money to be made. There's edge to be found whenever we feel like there isn't. So We're going to talk a little bit more about that. I do want to kind of segue here. We're going to talk a little bit about MLB because that's obviously what's going on. It's the big deal right now. Pete, you had released something on our new website, and I do want to plug the website, guys, because at yourfielderschoice.com, and that's fielders with an S, it is absolutely amazing. The site is just banging. I mean, the content, the graphics, everything. And if you click on stuff, I mean, I'm not easily amazed, but I will be honest with you. I've been on a lot of different provider websites just checking things out. The site runs seamless. It's smooth. It looks good. And not to mention, we have tons of interaction for our subs, for Discord, even on Twitch. We're going to be introducing some of that later on and what those features are. But I definitely want to have everyone check that out. But you had an MLB DFS preview, and that's what I want to talk about now. I want to just kind of cover some of that. You spent a lot of time on it, man. We had a lot of time to think without baseball going on. So talk to me a little bit about that. And obviously, Devin, if you want to interject on some of this stuff. But I really want to know, like, people reading that and being maybe new to DFS and just seeing that article, what are some things that they can pull from that you wanted to highlight for us?
Well, I guess pretty much, I'll probably touch a couple things right now. With the article is I'm pretty much showing the readers what we do here day in and day out and what the stats we look for, certain plays we look for. And if you're one of our subs, one of our members, you'll see what goes on here, because I'll just say, for an example, tomorrow is a Saturday slate and it starts at 1:00. So we have a real busy morning. And if you look at our article, most of the stuff you'll see me talking about tomorrow all morning is pretty much in the article, certain plays we look for. And there's actually, first of all, there's been a lot of changes. Not a lot. There's been 3 major changes in MLB this year. The main changes, we have DH now in the National League, which has been a big deal. And the main thing is now we can stack from the bottom up. We can do wraparound stacks. We don't have to worry about a pitcher bringing our team down.
Right.
Another rule is relief pitchers must face 3 batters, minimum of 3 batters now. That's also a big deal, because with the combo of that and the designated hitter, you're going to see less batters with the major splits getting pulled in the game. So here's an example today, Jordan Luplow with Cleveland. I mean, here's a guy that crushes lefties. I mean, he's got like a 480 WOBA, 422 ISO against lefties. Yeah. Meanwhile, his ISO against righties, I just looked it up, is 082. And normally, if we played last year, he might
2
get
at bats,
pulled.
he's out.
Exactly. He's going to get pulled in the 5th or 6th inning. This year, he may get an extra 2 at bats down. So that's key. And when you're with us, like just for example, tomorrow morning, when you're with us all morning, all those kind of things are going to come up in certain plays. Because one thing and I'm not to like brag or anything, but I mean, I've won my share. I get no better joy than seeing one of our subs win something big.
Sure. And
we've had a couple of big winners the last year or two. I mean, for example, Jeremy Burton, one of our subs, won huge in NFL, right? NASCAR. And I was never so happy to see somebody win. I mean, and he's a guy that's been grinding with me for years, back and forth, throwing plays back and forth, and to see some guy hit for 30 grand on a Sunday afternoon. I mean, it doesn't, to me, it just makes my day. I mean, it feels better than myself winning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things. That's why we're doing this. It's not just because we just love spending hours of time. Maybe Devin does. Devin loves to write.
Exactly right.
But spending all this time, like you said, it is to provide. We love to teach others, and that's the biggest things. Like you said, it's like same thing with my content. You're writing and you're putting things out there so people can get better. You're not just, hey, I'm going to put stuff out there and I'm going to keep the good stuff for myself. You stand by what you're playing, and that's one of the biggest things. I feel like there's a transparency there with our team. So you talked a little bit about changes there, and then of course the roster size changing again. Just looking at the article and scrolling down, obviously I want people on the stream, if they're not already in the website, I want them to kind of get an opportunity to kind of glance through that. But I do want to talk about something that I'm excited about. It's one of my favorite things, actually, is we have a new segment. We have a Sneaky Pete segment, and I just think that it's awesome. You're going to have essentially, it's kind of like your play of the day, right? Can you explain a little bit about what that segment's going to be?
Yeah, it's more of a GPP play. Well, it can be cash, but I probably look at it more as a GPP play. It's my one sneaky play of the day. as we're on computers all day, we're seeing what the industry is, who's touting who, what players have high ownership. You're always looking for that diamond in the rough, that one player that's 6-7% owned, and that's the
Yeah.
player that wins your money. That's the type of player that wins your GPP. For example, today, my sneaky piece play was Jay Bruce, who he was supposed to be batting cleanup. He ended up batting, I think, was like 7th or 8th. But earlier in the day, he looked like a real good play. Here's a guy. He's batting against a bad starting pitcher, bad bullpen in Miami. He's surrounded by guys that are, in years this year, they're comeback years. So he fit in perfectly. And I was looking at he's probably gonna be low owned. So it's a low owned guy that's gonna make some noise, and it's the type of guy that can jump you over thousands of people if he hits a home run, if he gets 3 or 4 RBIs.
Yeah, man.
And
Absolutely.
you made one of the things you did make a point where I just want to get this out there, where most of us guys that have been around have the experience where we've learned after seeing so many different websites, so many different providers and touts, where there's no worse of a feeling where, and I'll say subscribe to a certain website and a guy throws up, I'm going to play so-and-so pitching, and then you look at his plays and he's got a totally different pitcher playing. You know what I mean? So one thing that, we like to stress is whatever we're selling or talking about, we're going to play. We're not hiding picks. We're not hiding players. So, and that's what happens in my live chat is we'll build a lineup together. And throw different, pivots and stuff. But at the end of the day, before the final lock, we're all pretty much set on what we're going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So, kind of rounding this part out with the MLB Daily on kind of what to expect. We got 60 game season. It's a condensed slate. You got a lot going on in a short period of time. I do know there's going to be a lot of different size slates. There's going to be showdown slates. I actually released a Showdown 101 article that's on the website for you guys to check that out and kind of talks you through just the basics of what's different from building a classic to a showdown and some different nuances there and everything. And Devin is absolutely, fantastic at getting data out and making sure that we have everything up to date. He's going to be putting some stuff in and out there as well. Cause we talk a lot about numbers. We talk a lot about WOBA, ISO, things like that, guys. We're just not trying to go righty versus lefty. We really want to dig in for you here. And we want to make, what our subscribers are seeking. And we want it to be able to pay off for them. Like you said, we're in the same boat a lot of times. If we tout a guy and we play them and he sinks, man, we feel it too. So I'm going to make sure. Hey, you Discord premium guys, remember, it cuts deep whenever you say something, okay? Because we feel that. We're playing that. We're losing money too. So just remember that. So, just kind of rounding it out, I want to bring back in Devin here because I want to kind of talk a little bit about just, the rest of the MLB season, like kind of what we have to expect. And then Devin's going to close us out with something here at the end. But, Pete, I do want to talk a little bit about your top picks and plays and everything like that. So I want you to be prepared for that. But, what times should everyone expect these articles, chats to go out in our chats? They're for premium only. Is that correct?
Correct. And I just use an example tomorrow. Tomorrow the slate starts at 1 o'clock. There's 11 games. So normally I would try to get, I'm up 6-7 hours at least before lock, trying to get the article out on a weekend, a good 3 or 4 hours, which we try to be as up to date as possible, but it's also a live document. So as long as I get out there, I'm updating it all day. There may be changes, there may be all of a sudden a play pops out at me. I think it's better. So, plus we're on the premium channel and we're going back and forth who we think, are good plays and why. I may have a good ISO, may have a good WOBA. And then we'll usually have a chat an hour before lock. So me and one of the other team members, MLB guys, will have a chat, and we'll go through everything. And by 15 minutes before lock, we're ready to go.
Yeah. Awesome, man. All right. So kind of bringing back in Devin here, I want to talk to you, Devin, just a little bit one-on-one. I know that, we talked a little bit and we teased some of the partnerships. So tell me a little bit real quick. I know we're really covering the DFS section. So what are some things that we want to put out to the general public or to people that are just kind of on the fence about joining the YFC team? And really, if you could, kind of cover a little bit about some of our new partnerships. And then, of course, we have a new, reward system for the new website, which is absolutely awesome, dude. So give me a little bit about that.
So what we really want to encourage our users to interact, and because DFS should be fun. I mean, first of all, who doesn't like winning money? I assume most DFS players like sports. It's a lot more fun to win money, to watch sports with a group of people. So we've created a little bit of a reward system in our Discord chat for our premium members, where you get rewarded for being active. For instance, people who watch this live stream are going to get rewarded tonight for tweeting at us, posting winning lineups, just really being engaged and having fun. And because again, that's what DFS should be. You know, we should be having fun. So we really want to encourage that. And then in terms of what you can expect from YFC, you're going to get all the same DFS content that you were getting from Solutions, but everything's going to be taken up a notch. So for instance, our Top Plays, MLB Top Plays has the lineups embedded straight into it, and they update as lineups are released. So you've got your Vegas data, your weather data, and your lineups all right there. And like Pete mentioned, these are live documents. Nobody really does that. So what you see from most sites is somebody will put out a Top Plays article 10 hours before lock. Well, then half of the top plays aren't playing, and they don't adjust that. That's what drives people to lineup providers.
Yeah.
So we're the opposite. When we put something out, we're going to update it. We're going to make sure that you can get onto that article and get a quality lineup from that article.
Yeah.
And then you can use things like the cheat sheet, projections, projected ownership. You can use all that with the article and build really, really good lineups without having to research all day. That's our goal really from the DFS side.
Right.
Affiliates wise, we've partnered with Prize Picks. We're going to be offering daily picks for them. We do some premium only ones in our Discord. We throw them on. Some of our articles are going to include them as well. And then we also have some affiliates with some sports books, which are coming.
Right.
And Javay can talk a little bit about that when we bring him on. But yet we are also now, the other big part of YFC is that we are now included sports betting. So we're going to have articles about some bets we like, again, prize picks we like. So really we're going to be that site that just does everything. And then the last new feature on the website is we've actually created a DFS tracker, so you can upload your history for DraftKings and FanDuel, see where you're weak at, where you're good at, and just really learn to be a better player. So, I mean, like I said, really, we pretty much have everything you need, and the stuff we don't have, we're building. We're going to have everything you could possibly want from a DFS site and a sports betting site.
Yeah, and you mentioned something about the updated lineups, man. I think that's like, it's astonishing. Like, you can go in there and it literally live updates, and you're pulling this stuff. You're not having to scroll through everything just to finally get back to it. It's just a live scroll, and then you have your article right there. So you're really not having to bounce around a bunch, where I find a lot of research, and I know Pete will attest to this. I feel like we're popping up different windows, different sites, different data, optos and everything. And it's man, like you said, doing it all in one place, that's what we want to provide for our subscribers, man. And then, of course, you mentioned a little bit about some of our partnerships, prize picks and things like that. We also have a promo code, right? That's still active.
Yep. So the prize picks, our promo code is YFC, very simple. We will be tweeting out the link daily. It's in our articles. So if you have not signed up, they're legal in about 70% of the country now. So decent chance your state has it. Essentially, Prize Picks is like actually a really fun combination of DFS and sportsbook. So it'll be like a prop bet, but using DFS essentially. So, Kershaw under 31.7 or something. I believe his line was 39, was something like that was his line yesterday. So it's a really fun thing, and you don't have to worry about splits or anything like that, because it's cut and dry. You bet this to win this. So so if you're not on Prize Picks, check it out. Use the code YFC. And like I said, we'll have the links as well embedded into our content. And
and they have a PayPal also attached to it, so you can go out of PayPal. You don't have to go directly from a credit card. I know In the past, I think like Monkey Knife Fight, you have to use a card for that, but I think that's cool that Price Picks, they're all over, man. They're tweeting, they're active, they're giving
Oh, yeah.
away stuff all the time. So
They
yeah,
sponsored
man.
some golf tournaments even. They even sponsored some Outlaw Tour. So they're all into growing. So
Yeah.
we're really excited about that
Yeah.
partnership.
Yeah, dude. And so since we like to give free stuff away, I want to go ahead and make sure that I really, really emphasize this is that we are going to be doing a giveaway. So there's two things that you need to happen to be able to qualify. It's a $50 Visa gift card that we're going to have. It's actually going to be later on here in the stream after our GPP segment and our mismatches segment that we have later on. But we are going to be doing that. You have to be, I believe, signed up on Discord or in Discord for one. That has to be number one. And then obviously, if you're going to be here on the stream, you're going to be able to hear it live. And we're going to give that person about 15, 20 minutes to reach out to one of our admins. Probably Devin would be a great person to reach out to, or YFCG for Yervay. Those are two people. Or you can just, at one of me, at V12 or at P. Cole. So any one of us, like I said, we'll be able to check our messages in here between breaks. So guys, like, we're talking MLB. I want to end with that. I want to talk a little rapid fire because honestly, I think that we all love to follow MLB. We love to research it. I think that you're going to find one of the best teams for MLB here in the entire industry just because we all play it. We all love to dig in. And I think that we all have our own little niches. So, kind of going into a little bit of a rapid fire segment here, I want to just kind of cover a couple things. I want to hear your top play of the year. This is your top DFS play yearly. So somebody you're probably going to be targeting or looking at every single slate. A sleeper pick, which is somebody that you're like, man, this dude's going to come through. I feel it. If maybe some dominoes fall in the right places. And then, of course, I want to hear World Series winner. And if you have a biggest bust or something like that, I'd love to hear that too. But, first, I want to start with Devin. And tell me, man, who do we need to look out for? Who's your top play of the year, DFS wise, in MLB?
So ironically, I know your two, and your two are my top two. Yelich is my top, Acuna is my second, because of power and speed.
Right.
They both can steal bases, they both can hit home runs, they're both going to score a ton of runs. They're on good teams, going to drive in a ton of runs. So I will actually pivot a little bit there, and I'm going to give you something completely different. I'm going to go my surprise team.
Okay.
It's going to be the New York Mets. I've been high on them for 2 years now. They can't stay healthy, but if that team stays healthy, Cespedes homer today.
Yeah.
Pete Alonso's a monster. I've been hyping him up. Pete will tell you for years. I'm a huge Pete Alonso fan. Ahmad Rosario has a ton of talent. He bats ninth for them, which just speaks to the depth. So I suppose I will take Pete Alonso as my DFS player.
All right.
And the Mets kind of corresponding with that.
Yeah, and I really like your sleeper pick. I was very much high on this guy, so I'm going to let you introduce who that is.
Yeah, so my sleeper pick, so I collected cards for a while there. I've actually kind of slowed down with that. So I know a lot of prospects, which is why I was high on Pete Alonso. A guy I've been keeping an eye on is Luis Robert. I actually had to look up how to say his name because I didn't know if it was Robert or Robert, but apparently it's Robert.
Hey, if you want to hear
the White Sox,
I would say if you want to hear names butchered, we need to bring these guys in on a Korean baseball live chat because we can butcher some names. Yeah. You guys don't worry about that. So I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead. Back to Luis Robert.
So the White Sox are extremely young and talented, and he's a stud. He has all the tools in the world. So I might be a year early on him, but I'm hoping not. He did start today, which is really encouraging. Last I checked, he was 1 for 1. We started the season off with a hit, but he's got speed, he's got power. He's essentially just a freak athlete. So watch out for the White Sox as a whole. They're definitely a sleeper team. They might be a year away, but they are uber talented.
Right. Absolutely, man. And so you said World Series pick, you're going to ride with the Mets, right?
No, they'll get too hurt for me to ride with them.
Who's going to be your World Series pick?
It's gonna be one of the two big boys. The Dodgers and the Yankees are so good. I'm gonna go Dodgers.
Oh, it hurts.
I know. They'll let me down.
They'll let you down, right?
The lineup's so good.
All right, man. I appreciate that. I want to kind of move over here to Pete. Pete, Same thing, man. We want to kind of bring in rapid fire. Who's your top play? I know you dug through a ton, man. So who are you looking at right now? It's like, man, this is the guy that I really think this dude's going to finish at the top. If I was in the season long league, I would obviously target him. But tell me who you got, man.
All right, my top player is Christian Yelich for the Brewers, and the reason I had a debate with somebody just the other day about this whole debate whether who's a better MLB player, Yelich or Trout. I've always been a Trout guy, but I actually dug in a little bit, and there's a couple things that really jumped out at me, and I didn't realize Yelich has got more top 2 MVP finishes, which is 7, more than Aaron, Rose, Griffey, and Chipper. I mean, I never realized that. So that's major league stuff. And just another quick thing, I actually did a little breakdown, and I know it's more than just stats, but if you look at since the 2018 All-Star break between Trout and Yelich's got 342 batting average, Trout 297, 158 runs, Trout 140, 69 home runs, Trout 59, 164 RBIs, Trout 133. So they're just stats that jumped out at me where I didn't realize that Yelich had that many more, in the stat category. And of course, Mike Trout's Mike Trout, but I really think Yelich is still one of the best players, and I just don't think he gets the love like he really should. Yeah. And he's been around a lot longer than you think too. I mean, he's been around.
Yeah,
so,
and he's on a better team too. So I mean, you got to look at that. I mean, you got to kind of consider, lineups. Are you going to be protected? I think that's the one knock on Trout. Of course, I mean he's matchup proof.
Yeah,
like you said, I think Yelich is in a much better situation. So, yeah, man. Like I said, I think those are awesome. Both of the guys. Like I said, it's hard to split hairs between those two. What about your sleeper pick?
My sleeper pick is a White Sox, Eloy Jimenez. I mean, some people are going to say he's not a sleeper because he was a rookie last year. Yeah, and he came in, I don't know, he came in with a lot of hype. He still hit 31 homers last year, but he's still, the kid's got a lot of raw power. But it seems like everything came together last September. He raked the ball. He hit 340 with 9 home runs last September. So I'm looking for him to come into the season, the tailwinds of that big month. And he's a 5-tool prospect. He's a type of guy that I think, another year or two, he's going to play one of the top 10 players in the league. I mean, he's a real talented kid. It's just, I don't know, he's definitely my sleeper pick of the 2020 season.
All right. And so what are we thinking? World Series? Do you want me to answer for you? I can do that.
Yankees, of course.
Oh, come on.
And my bust is the Red Sox.
Really? They think they're going to bust, huh?
Yeah.
Do you think that yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll kind of close out with mine, guys, and then we're going to kind of transition over to the next segment. Of course, it's no surprise, obviously, which team I think is going to win the World Series because, I mean, it's obvious, guys. I'm just telling you. I don't have to go into it, but just from a hitting standpoint, the coaching does hurt. Obviously, losing Hinch hurts a lot, but I just think, losing Cole, I was thinking, man, this is really going to hurt us. But I just think that, Astros traditionally start out hitting a little slow, and then they just pick it up and explode out of nowhere. But I do think, and I think, and I'm going to talk to Mike about this more. He mentioned that the Astros aren't going to get the ownership at the beginning of the season that most people thought. They're thinking they're not going to see pitches. They're going to get hit a lot. I just think in a short season, man, you go with the teams that have the most top end talent. I just think that during the long game, during the long season, people get hurt. You deal with a lot of other, just rest and things like that. So it's a lot harder. But, it's like a single game situation. Who do you want? You want one of the best teams. And when any of those big boys would definitely be in contention. I think the Yankees are going to be up there. Dodgers will be up there. Absolutely. My top play of the year, and I know Devin kind of teased it out earlier, is Ronald Acuna. It's just hard to deny the kid's talent. He, like you said, he hits for power. He hits the ball to the gaps, both sides of the field. He's not split dependent. He can hit righties, lefties. He's just a guy that you can just see it. Like you can hear it when he hits the ball. You can see it when he swings. It doesn't take him a lot of effort to be good. And those guys have just an immense ceiling. Obviously, the guy's got a cannon. He's just wheels for days. And for me, man, he's just he's absolutely going to be the best player, I think, in baseball by the end of it, if he isn't already. So no disagreement on any of your guys' top pick. And of course, my sleeper, because I've seen him a lot more, is Kyle Tucker from the Astros. Obviously, his brother Preston got shipped out, so we got to play him. Was it KBO or NPB? It was KBO, right?
KBO,
Yeah,
Kia.
okay.
Kia.
All right. So, Kyle Tucker just he was more immensely talented than his brother. He has an amazing swing path. The guy, it's very little effort, very compact, but he drives the ball, hits with power to all fields. In the minors, he was obviously stealing 20-plus bases, hitting 30-plus home runs. Whenever, he got playing time, he was good. He's durable. He's got speed, and Josh Reddick isn't going to be in that right field position long. The Astros are going to need some youth in there, and I think that Tucker, once he gets an opportunity, the guy's a stud. He's going to be one of those players you're going to be like, I got to get in on him before he's 5K. It just seems like that happens a lot. I remember, whenever you jump in on a player, and then the next, like you said, Jimenez is one of them, and I think Luis Robert was priced at almost $4,500, I think, for opening day, which is insane. So there was no kind of discount on him. So I think that they were a little bit on the Devin train whenever they were making the pricing algorithm for that. But, yeah, man, like I said, it's going to be a good season. We're excited. We're going to be doing more of these things. We're going to be doing some rapid fire. Obviously, look out for the Sneaky Pete article and pick of the day with the MLB daily articles as well. And like I said, those live chats, they are for premium members. So if you're not in now and you're listening to this on Twitch, we highly recommend you being in there. Don't forget, we have the $50 Visa gift card giveaway. Pete, we're going to say goodbye to you now. We're going to be bringing on Devin later on the show. But is there any last thoughts, Pete? Anything on today? Anything going forward you want to mention?
No, I just looking forward to a good 2 months of baseball, 60 games. Just wish everybody dives in. We'll have a good season.
Yeah, brother. Hey, man, you guys did a great job. I appreciate you spending some time with me. It's time to crack a beer or your beverage of choice. Like I said, we're here to celebrate tonight, okay? So everybody get loose and have fun, all right? So we're actually about to take a quick 5-minute break. We are going to be coming back to you here with our second segment of the night, and it's going to be our GPP segment, and we're going to be bringing on Mike Miz and Wes Pickwick. They're going to be joining me to talk a little GPP baseball. So, gentlemen, I appreciate you guys, and I know I'll talk to Pete tonight, I'm sure. But I know, Devin, like I said, we'll be having you back on here later on tonight, and I appreciate you guys spending a little bit of time with me. So, guys, we'll see you.
German whips, fancy cars, they play the game, but they know who the champions are. Every time we pull up, it's like a damn bazaar. They scream our name, try to get us on the camera. Flashing lights, though I ain't the flashy type. I just push a big whips with the fastest pipe. Can't match his price. I don't nigga catch for life, but I still never pay the full package price and fuck the law.